Sorry guys, first and foremost, before we get into this lesson, I just want to preface this video by saying or by reading Colossians 2 and 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because for the Israelites, I don't want you guys to judge people on how they worship them, or which days they choose to worship the Most High, because even Paul would tell you that it don't really matter which day you worship the Most High. That has nothing to do with the Sabbath. Let's be truthful. Worshiping the Most High has almost nothing to do with the Sabbath. But the reason why we like to worship on the Sabbath is because that's the day that we have off. So the Sabbath is not a day of worship. It is a day of rest, according to everything I'm gonna show you in this video. But I might as well just say it. Let's just get it out real fast. Let's see. 1 second. Got Exodus 20 and 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7 days is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. All right? The Sabbath is a day of rest. It's not a day of worship. Am I telling you that you can't worship on that day? No. But at the same time, I say that to say this. I will properly help you guys identify the Sabbath. This does not say that you're not allowed to worship the Most High on any other day. So don't go in the comments telling Christian niggas that they can't worship on Sunday. They just need to understand that that is not the Sabbath. Shalom. Yo. Shalom Achiyam wa Achiyawat. Thanks for watching the video and clicking. I want to say welcome to all of the Israelites that know that they're Israelites, and all the Israelites that don't know. Maybe you're caught up in Christianity, or I'm not even going to address people that are caught up in Islam. Not because I disrespect you or anything like that, but you're clearly not in the part of the walk where you're dealing with any of this stuff, because you're dealing with the Quran. But it don't matter what you believe in. If you're an Israelite, I love you, and hopefully the Holy Spirit, Most High will give you the Holy Spirit and get a hold of you. But today the lesson is going to be about the Sabbath. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High in the name of the Messiah. Yes, today's going to be about the Sabbath. We're going to be very quick and to the point. But before I start, I want to say there are going to be people in the comments that think that they don't got to keep Sabbath. That's not true. Go to my video on the law of Moses so you can completely understand why I'm even making a video like this. Because if you're not trying to keep the law of Moses, or if you think that you don't got to keep it, then I don't even know how you made it to this video, other than to scoff and mock. So I present a challenge. If you feel like you don't got to keep Sabbath, go to my video on the law of Moses and you can address whoever, or you try to get a hold of me there. But all that scoffing and shit is not going to be on this video. Okay? Do not comment talking about you don't got to keep the law of Moses in this video, because this has nothing to do with that. In the most basic sense. I'm not breaking that down in this video. But let's continue. The Sabbath is a day sanctified, and of course you guys know I keep my notes to the side, so if I keep looking down, that's why. The Sabbath is a day sanctified and made holy for the children of Israel by the Most High. All right? So we're the Most High showed us how to keep the Sabbath, through Moses. I'm making this lesson to provide my understanding using the Bible, and to show you how to properly keep the Sabbath. All right, because this is a very important law. All right, I know people say the wages of sin is death, which is true. It's in the Bible. The wages of sin is death. But I will tell you this, and the Christian church don't understand this, because they hear the wages of sin is death, and that's it. There are sins unto death, right? And then there's sins that could there's certain processes that you got to go through. So every single sin committed does not go unto death. Most High is not. No, he don't move like that. He's much more merciful than that. So with that being said, Let's think about what our Messiah said, what our Lord said. He said, any man that teaches to break the least of the commandments will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Now, a least commandment would be something like, let me say, like fringes. And not all camps agree on what fringes are, but we all try our best to do it. Like me, I don't have my fringes of blue on, but there was a lesson that a brother named Eli, I think Eli Israel made. When you think about what fringes are, you need to remember the Most High is very practical. Basically, he did a breakdown on the fringes being how you stitch together your clothing. It says to put fringes on the four borders of your garments, right? So let's say this was a large cloak. If this shirt was a large cloak, it'd be fringed here, fringed here, fringed here, and fringed here. Right? That would be an example of a least commandment. Like, you wouldn't be put to death for not wearing your fringes. The only thing I'm missing right now is the ribbon of blue. I'm not saying that it's okay to do, but, I need further edification on how to do that. Maybe I'm going to buy more clothing where I can get my border of blue, or, it's all in sincerity. But the point is this. People act like the Sabbath is a least commandment. Let's see if the Sabbath is a least commandment. And this wasn't even part of my original lesson. But we're going to find out real fast if the Sabbath is a least commandment. All right. So just so y'all don't think I'm deceiving y'all, this goes out to the Christians because any Hebrew would know this already. Exodus chapter 31, going to verse 14. Let's start at 14. You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from amongst his people. Now, would you sit up here and look me in my eyes and tell me that the Sabbath is a least commandment if you could be put to death for it? No, that's clearly ridiculousness. This is a very salahia, very important commandment to keep, and this is why we're doing this lesson today. All right, I'm going to get into a couple other things, just to clear any confusion at the end of this lesson. But the Sabbath is very important. Yes. So the Sabbath is a day of rest all of Israel and its inhabitants practiced, given to us by the Most High God. All right, so let's get that. Exodus chapter 20. Exodus chapter 20, starting at verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. All right, this is something that we should already know, but one point that it makes is that let me get this in verse 11. It says, "For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." So the Lord rested the 7th day, and because of that, He sanctified this day. It's pretty simple. Let's get some proof on that, because you're supposed to prove scripture with scripture. So now we're going to jump to Genesis chapter 2, starting at verse 1. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. So right there we see that the Sabbath is before Mount Sinai. Salahia. It's before we even get it in the Mosaic law. So if it's something that predates the Israelites, what makes you think this is something that Jesus died, let's just stop doing it? So you're saying that Jesus died so you could commit a sin that's worthy of death. Especially when it's something that was practiced by the Most High God Himself. Come on now, don't be like that. All right, so that's what the Sabbath is. It's the seventh day that the Most High sanctified after He rested. Very simple. And we are debtors to observe that. Okay? Let's see when the Sabbath is. As anybody would know, the Sabbath is on the seventh day of the week. We just had that precept. Let me get that precept back out. 20 and 10. Exodus 20 and 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. I know I read that a little fast, but the main part is the seventh day is the Sabbath. So I'll give Christians or any Israelites caught up in Judaism, we all agree it's the seventh day. Now, what do you call that seventh day? That's where things start to get a little rocky. But thank God we got the all praises to the Most High, we got the Bible, we got the scriptures, so we can talk about these things in truth and not from our own vain opinions. I don't have a doctrine. All right, the Bible's my doctrine. To understand when the seventh day is, it is important. Oh, excuse me, Salahia. The Sabbath is on the seventh day of each week. To understand when this seventh day is, we have to use a bit of common sense. All right. Since I'm in the Americas, I'm going to be talking predominantly to Americans. I don't know what other people think across the rest of the world concerning the seventh day. So this is generally going to be focused towards, I guess, the westernized mindset. Let's see. All right. So Sunday is a day that a lot of Christian churches like to use as the Sabbath. They say that Sunday is the Sabbath. Now let's observe something really fast, all right? This is why I said you got to use some common sense. At least in America, Sunday is literally the first day of the week. So stop playing games. If you're going to argue with me on that, then you're going to be arguing with a brick wall. I don't have to respond to you. Sunday is the first day of the week in America. All right? Now, people caught up in Judaism might say it's Friday night to Saturday night. Okay? This one seems like it could be a little bit more accurate because Sabbath is celebrated from evening to evening. I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. Well, let's say for the sake of the sake of the argument, Sabbath is predominantly Saturday, Friday night to Saturday night. So let's say the end of Friday through Saturday. Just to be fair, we'll call it Saturday. Let's say this is the seventh day. I'm about to show you something, all right? All right. So we were just talking about Friday night to Saturday night, right? Obviously, we're over here, but I was just underlining the the days. But matter of fact, let's just circle this whole side right here on Friday night to Saturday night. Now, we know that we're looking for the seventh day. All right? So we should be looking for multiples of 7. 3 and 4 are not multiples of 7. 10 and 11 are not multiples of 7. 17 and 18 are not multiples of 7. 24, 25, and 31 are not multiples of 7. And then if you look, one second. When you look right here, now they're practicing on the first day, just like the Christian church. You see that? There's a little 1 right there. So clearly it's not always fixed on Friday to Saturday night either. That's because now we're not dealing with the seventh day. All right. All right. So as I just displayed, we cannot consistently keep the Sabbath on Sunday or the Friday night to Saturday night. That shit don't work. I pretty much just proved why. All right. So if it's not Saturday, if it's not Friday and it's not Saturday night to Sunday night, then when is it? So first, we'd have to understand how a month or a day actually starts. Is that fair enough for me to say? All right. Once again, when you're coming into this knowledge, you're like a little kid, man. You need to learn. You need to relearn stuff, man. So let's go jump to Genesis 1. And to any of the brothers that want to teach this to people, I will say this. I'm going to say a couple things. This is going to be easier to teach people that are already in the truth. All right? And secondly, if you're going to try to teach somebody, like, because Christians, they say that they keep the 10 Commandments. If you're going to try to show them to keep the 10 Commandments in this, if you're going to try to show them how to keep the Sabbath properly, they're going to have a hard problem with you jumping into the Old Testament. They don't like doing that. But in order for us to understand truly, we need the whole entire book. I don't bump the New Testament at all. I think Brother Paul is great. We get the revelation of our Lord and Savior. What are you talking about? We bumping the New Testament, man. We love the New Testament. All right, but we don't disregard the rest of the book. That's foolishness. As a matter of fact, since most Israelites deal with the Apocrypha as well. One second. Look at how much Bible we're dealing with. Look, let me bring it closer to the camera. This is how much Bible we're dealing with. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I lied. Excuse me. I just bore false witness on the Akia. Obviously, that was a joke. I'm not lying on nobody. All right. This is how much Bible we're dealing with right here. Right? You get the Christian church, they only want to deal with the New Testament. So let's see what that looks like. They dealing with this much Bible. You see how much they're trying to disregard, bro? Christian church, I hope you're waking up to this that I'm showing you. You cannot make a doctrine that cancels out 75% of your... I want to say more than 75%, man. Because a lot of y'all like to ignore what Christ said, too. And I'm not trying to, get sidetracked on this video. So let's say y'all only dealing with Paul's letters. Matter of fact, even Paul said that he establishes the law. Y'all like to ignore Paul sometimes. So let's get rid of Paul. What, you gonna walk around with a fortune cookie that says John 3:16? Come on, we got to do better. We need to be more responsible with our scriptures. This is our book. And I'm not really talking to every single Christian, because every single Christian is not really... I'm not talking to every single one of y'all. But y'all Israelites that happen to be Christians right now, come on now. Don't be deceived, man. The Most High gave you this, and you're letting niggas fool you into thinking all you need is this. That's a damn shame. Seriously. All right, let's resume the lesson. I'm sorry. When you're in this truth, sometimes you just gotta... some things just need to be said. Okay, so... just so you guys can get your memory refreshed, we're going into the book of Genesis, chapter 1. I'm not going to really show my book. If you can't find Genesis 1, then... god dang. Anyway. We're in Genesis 1, so we could find out how to properly identify a day. And in turn, a month. Alright, so let's see. Where are we going to start? You know what? You could really start anywhere in Genesis 1. I'm gonna start from the first verse. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. All right? And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Now listen to this part. And the evening and the morning were the first day. What you need to understand, when we were reading from Genesis 1:1 to 1:5, we already saw that darkness was first. And then the Most High goes on to say that darkness and light were the first day. We can't contend with that. Your day starts at night. When as soon as it gets dark out, when that sky is black, as soon as that happens, new day. And if you disagree with me, then especially if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, if you're disagreeing with me, that will make you a coon. And I'm not even trying to be rude. Now listen to this. You won't believe me when, or the Most High, or the Bible really. You won't believe the Most High when he says that the day starts when it gets dark. But y'all believe the so-called white man when he said the new day starts at 12 o'clock midnight. Come on now, stop playing games with stuff. If even the white man says that the day starts when it's dark out, I'm not saying it starts at midnight. It starts before that. All right? It starts before midnight. But we both acknowledge that the new day starts when it's dark. So stop playing with stuff. Just stop playing with stuff, man. So now that we know that a day starts at night, now we understand that the Sabbath starts when it's dark outside, not when it's light outside. Your Sabbath starts when it is dark. For example, it's actually for the sake of what I'm trying to say. What is it? It's Tuesday today. My Sabbath started Monday night. It started last night, and my Sabbath won't be over until about, I want to say sometime after 8:30. Almost 9 o'clock. That's when Sabbath ends right now. All right. So from evening to evening is your Sabbath, because the evening is the start of the day, and the evening that next evening is the start of the next day. That would now be the 8th day after the 7th, or the first day of the next week. And I hope I didn't confuse you guys with that. I don't think I said anything confusing. If you have questions, please comment. That's why we have a comment board. I know I seem a little aggressive sometimes in my videos, but I love talking. I love edifying. I have no problem with ignorance. I really don't. I have no problems with people being ignorant. I don't like trolls. And that's why I present myself so aggressive. So people know exactly how serious we are on this channel. But if you have innocent question like, brother, you said this, I will answer your question. I don't want, us Israelites, especially the camps, we can't be talking down on each other or treating people like they stupid. What did Christ say? He said any man that calls somebody a fool, man, is in danger, bro. So don't get me wrong, niggas say stupid shit sometimes. Niggas do say some foolish shit sometimes. But we can't run around with that spirit of this nigga's a fool and that nigga's a fool and this nigga's a fool. How will we ever teach? All right, so if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Please. So let's refresh our memories again. A day starts when it's dark outside. As soon as it gets dark outside. All right. So now we're going to jump onto Bible Hub just so I can show you how a month starts. Okay. All right. So first, I want to bring you guys to Genesis 1 and 14. Matter of fact, yeah, let's just read Genesis 4. Don't worry about the Hebrew. I really didn't need the Hebrew for this. And said, God, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide between the day and between the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, for days and years. Now, this is not foolishness. Like, I don't know why people read stuff like this in the Bible and just think that it's just there to be there. Don't get me wrong. We were all there. But now I'm starting to look back on myself and be like, why did I just think that this was there for no reason? Because we all use calendars. None of us use the lights in the firmament to determine the days and the years and, we don't do that. Like the Most High told us to. Don't get me wrong. We can make calendars based on the moon and stuff, but we don't. All right. So let's see. So in my notes I have written down, it says, all right, so clearly the sun and the moon aren't just for lights, as well as the stars. They're not just for lights and to look, they're not for decoration, man. Don't get me wrong, the Most High is so amazing that he can make things both useful and decorative. He's just like that. All right, all praises to the Most High. However, they're for days, times, and years as well, as stated in verse 14. This is evident in the 30-day moon cycle and the invention of the sundial. What do I mean by this? The moon cycle, you know, when it's full, when it's new, when it's waxing, crescent, you know those different the different ways that the moon looks. That's on a 30-day cycle. That sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? Right? Right? 30 days is what? A month? Ah, all right then. And then when we come to the sundial, for anybody that knows about the sundial, you take a piece of stone, and basically based on where the sun is, that the shadow is going to be cast differently, and that would tell you what time it is throughout the day. So we use the sun for time, the moon for days, and the stars for seasons. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to break down how we use the stars for seasons. I'm not up on game like that. I would love to understand it if somebody could point me to some resources. And this also points to that you don't need the fucking Book of Enoch to know how to determine, you know, months and days and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, if I'm not, or is it the Book of Jubilees? I forget. But point is, a couple of those books contradict with the Bible. So all y'all following the Jubilees calendar, the Enoch calendar, y'all are off, man. And I'm not gonna call y'all fools, because coming into this truth is understanding that you've been lied to. So yeah, a couple of shit. When I first came into the truth, I was looking at the Book of Jasher. Do I adhere to it now? No, I don't. But let's be honest and sincere. I'm not gonna call those brothers foolish, but do some research on those books, man. Those books are no good. All right. What's the next point I want to make? Let's go to Exodus 12 and 2. Exodus. Come on. Salahia, give me 1 second. All right, so right here on the screen, I have Exodus 12 and 2 opened up, but I'm also going to open up Exodus 12 and 2 in my Bible. You guys can follow along, of course, in your own Bibles. I'm opening it up in my Bible just because it reads a little different. Like in the KJV 1611, it don't start with the word month, nor does it in any Bible. But what happens is, how do I put this? I'm not going to use words that I'm not familiar with, trying to act smart. But I do pride myself as a self-proclaimed linguist. I guess the way I would have to explain this is sometimes when you're translating something. All right. Matter of fact, let me give you an example. So these words, and this is for people that are interested in, doing further Bible study. All right. So Hachodes. This translates to month. However, Hachodes, Hezeh, whoops, 1 second. Lechem, Roesh. Oh no, that's Rosh. Okay, point is, everything on the left side of the screen is being translated word for word on the right side, but it would not make sense 100% if you were to read it exactly like that. Let's not get distracted. Everybody refocus on Exodus 12 and 2. Let me read it in my Bible, and then I'm going to walk you through it in the Hebrew. 12 and 2, yes. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. Oh boy, I ain't even peeped that in Bro, I ain't even peeped that in my first run through of this lesson. Because remember, I make my lessons before I teach. Everybody should make their lesson before they teach. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. So this is the first month that the Most High is speaking about. Of all the months, this is the first month in 12 and 2. It shall be the first month of the year to you. See? All right. I don't know how I didn't catch that. So the word for month, as you can see right here on the screen, Hachodesh. Right? Hachodesh. And the root word is, just give me 1 second. I think the root word is going to be Chodesh. Yes, as you can see, already popping up on the screen, the root word is Chodesh. Chodesh. Part of speech, now masculine, transliteration, Chodesh. Phonetic spelling, Chodesh. Definition, new moon a month. So now we know that the new moon is the month, right? Where am I? The new moon is the month. What does the new moon look like? We're gonna take a look at that. All right, as you can see, I'm gonna circle it for you guys. Right here we have the new moon. It's gonna take 30 days for the moon to hit all of these cycles. All right? That takes about a month's time, even in our modern understanding, doesn't it? So right here is the first day of the month. Right? Okay. All right, now that I broke down that the new moon is the first day of the month, right? Now, I don't want you guys to get confused. I know that you guys see that the new moon is it says it's on May 7th. Well, guess what? Fuck May 7th, all right? We're not worried about that because the Most High didn't give us May fucking 7th. So don't play that game with me, all right? This literally is the first day of the month. So where it says 7 right there, that's hour 1. That's our first day. All right? So I'm going to show you guys how I do this because it's confusing for me to find Sabbath from looking at this screen because, how do I put this? They're showing the moon phase on each, I guess, calendar day, the Gregorian calendar day. What I do is this. Let me get my paper real fast. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'm going to show y'all something. All right, guys. Now, I don't know if I explicitly stated this, but the new moon that was shown on the, I guess the last slide or, the last section I showed you with the new moon, the moon calendar I was just showing you guys, the new moon took place on that Tuesday night. All right? So I'm going to show you guys how I track how to keep Sabbath. All right. So once again, my setup is a little unorthodox. I don't do this for the glitz and the glam, but we're going to get right into this, all right? Once again, the new moon was on Tuesday night, so this is what I like to do. I write out all the days going from the start of the new moon. So the new moon was on this day. So we're gonna mark this new moon. NM means new moon. All right? And of course, after Tuesday is Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's call this Sat. Sunday, Monday. And then we're going to give Tuesday one more. All right? We do Tuesday twice or the new moon day twice. And you're going to see why. All right? Now, the next thing I mark. All right? So we have the new moon. We have the days of the week written out from the new moon to the new moon. All right? The new moon day to the new moon day. Once again, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to walk you over this again when we're done. The next thing I mark. Remember, the new moon we can see the moon we can see most clearly at night. Once again, another thing, a day starts at night, not when it's light. All right? So this Tuesday, we need to mark day and night. Because remember, the Gregorian calendar really starts during the day. All right? So day, night. This is where we see our new moon, during the night. Day, night. Day, night. Day, night. Day. You do this for all. Now, you guys might find a more simple method than me. All praises if you do. This is what works for my brain. All right? So let's walk over what we just have. We have the days of the week written out. The new moon took place on a Tuesday. This is the first day, right? This is the first day of the month on that new moon. So now we've got the days of the week, and we also have our day and our night separated. All right? Now, ignore this arrow. The only reason why I drew that is so you know that we see this new moon at night. This is when the day started, not here. This is when the day started, not here. All right? So now we're going to count. Tuesday night to Wednesday night, that's one day. Wednesday night to Thursday night is 2 days. Thursday night to Friday night, so on and so forth. Friday night to Saturday night. Saturday night to Sunday night. Sunday night to Monday night. And now you'll see why we have Tuesday twice. Because look, we didn't even complete a week if we only left that Monday, right? But we have to complete our week by going Monday night to Tuesday night, giving us our 7th day. And that's the Sabbath. So we're going to walk through it one more time. The new moon took place on a Tuesday night. Hence why we're starting with Tuesday. We write out the rest of the days of the week. Right? Including, right? We need that new moon day twice so we can complete our week. All right? We write out the days and nights of each of these Gregorian days. Then we count from night to night until we get 7. This right here is our Sabbath. This right here is when I'm making this video. So if I say today is the Sabbath in this video, it's because it took place during this time right here. All right. The next thing I'm going to address is, I guess, how we keep the Sabbath. We're going to go into Exodus 20 in verse 8 to 11. We already went through that, but we're going to go through it again for a new reason. 28 to 11. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember it to keep it holy. Holy means separate. We treat this day different than the rest of the days, man. Where am I? 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. All right? So 6 days we're allowed to work and, just said it plain. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord, thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Working on the Sabbath is off. We're not supposed to do that. All right? Now, here's the catch. Well, there's no catch. The Bible has no catches, but listen. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So basically, ain't nobody working on the Sabbath. And I'm not supposed to ask nobody to work on the Sabbath. Hence why we're not allowed to buy or sell on this day either. Because if I buy something, you can only buy services and products. Right? How am I about to buy a product or a service without having somebody work? Now that's why we don't buy or sell on the Sabbath. Because then it would require somebody to work. I don't give a damn how you try to, twist up the text. That's why we don't buy or sell on the Sabbath. It will require work. Let's continue. We're going to go to Exodus 35 and 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. And Moses spake unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord... Oh yeah, I went too far. My fault. Yes, Exodus 35 and 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. So what does that mean? It means we don't cook. We don't light candles. For the y'all that smoke. And yes, smoking is... I'm not going... Okay, look. We're not going to play games. Where there's no law, there's no sin. Smoking is not a sin. I said it. However, if you do smoke, do not smoke on the Sabbath. You're kindling fire. And my parents, if you guys happen to watch this video, at least I think I explained this to my mom or my maybe my dad even too. I hope that they can bear witness to me. I don't smoke on the Sabbath. All right? I don't cook. You're supposed to prepare all your food and everything the day prior, unless you're, willing to wait until the eighth day to eat. That's a personal choice for you. All right. Yes, all your errands. If you need to buy anything, cook anything of that sort, any of that, man, any work that needs to be done, preparation. Dang, that sounded serious. You do that on the sixth day. Understood? All right. So, I guess I'm gonna top off this lesson with things to keep in mind. Oh, yes. If you run into any emergencies that may happen on the Sabbath, whether somebody gets injured, if your car's running out of gas, general, like an emergency, real emergencies, you're allowed to do what you have to do to take care of what needs to be taken care of on the Sabbath. All right? Now, I'll say this. I try my best to not be ill prepared. So, like, if you need to put gas in your car the day before the Sabbath, you make sure you do that because you're not trying to get stranded on the road. And if you saw that you needed gas, look, this is me bear witness to myself. I bought gas on the Sabbath twice. When I first started learning about the Sabbath, and I kept in the back of my mind, I need to check my gas tank before the Sabbath comes. It's one thing to do it accidentally, but for me to do it a third time, that'd just be crazy. That'd be me being negligent. Yeah? So, look, that's not me saying that you could break the Sabbath, because that's off. Because even Christ himself will tell you it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. So if somebody's sick and they need some tea and soup, I'm sure that's lawful. Any of the Akim that have any discrepancies with that or want to further elaborate on this section, please do so. Please do so. Because I already know there's going to be some Christian folks saying Jesus broke the Sabbath. He ain't break no damn Sabbath, man. He wasn't a sinner. He never sinned. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He said it's good to do the Lord's work on a Sabbath, man. All right. Let's see. Yes. For those of you that know we're Israelites, y'all know that we're in our captivity. And for y'all Christian Israelites, y'all gonna figure out, based off of this law alone, that we're in our captivity. Why do I say that? For Israelites in the truth, can we always keep the Sabbath? I'll say it like this. Yes, technically we can. But because we're in our captivity, certain things are just going to be harder to practice. So, for example, a lot of us have jobs. I'm not talking self-employed. If you're self-employed, you shut your shit down for the day, But for those of us that work jobs where we got to clock in and work for other people, we don't have that luxury of saying, "Oh, I can't come in today. It's the Sabbath." You think they give a damn? We're not small hats. They don't give a damn. They only give a fuck about their practices, man. And Muslims, really. And Christians. They're not dealing with people who really truly deal with scripture. All right? So me personally, if I do have to work on the Sabbath, I try to fast. But I'm going to be the one to say it. You cannot always keep the Sabbath in our captivity. I'm sure that the Lord would reward you if you somehow found a way to do it, or if you're truly blessed to be like that. But in our captivity, it's going to be not very, very difficult, but you will have your days where you just can't keep Sabbath, man. And I wouldn't advise my brothers to how do I put this? To not provide for their families, risk losing their jobs, over the Sabbath. And once again, maybe I could couple this. Maybe I could couple this point. It's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. Now, If you take extra work on the Sabbath, now you're off. Extra work is off on the Sabbath. You don't do that, man. But if you're forced to go to work, we're in our captivity, it is what it is. All right, so I think I pretty much yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. Let's just go, really quickly over the lesson. The Sabbath is our day of rest given to us from the Lord from the beginning, right? Uh, we determine our days, months. We determine the Sabbath based off the new moon. I gave that breakdown. We're not allowed to buy, sell, or kindle fire on the Sabbath. So that's my breakdown on that. Tawada to all the Akiyami and Akiyawat that clicked on this video. Thanks for watching. I hope I gave an edifying lesson today. And I look forward to seeing y'all again. Kalhala le ahaya basham hamasiyak tawada. Aman. Thank you guys for everything. Of course, I'm speaking of the Most High, but thank you guys for supporting my channel. I just love teaching the word. And hopefully I can do it on a grander scale, and hopefully I'm part of the elect. I'm out.